Okay, we are here at the penultimate round. Well, rounds. Laguna Seca, we are immediately going in. I guess they literally wait for the stream tag to go up, I suppose. That was really... I'm on the track. I have forgotten that I'm on the track. Whoops, I need to be not on the track. I'm off the track. There we go. I think that's the second time I have done that. Huh. I've never done that before. Fun fact, at least I can't start driving by accident, but yeah, my car's just chilling there, my outdated livery. It's kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the 11th and 12th rounds take us to WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, as AJ Nickel has beef with a GT World Series driver. AJ is, in fact, not meant to even be on the track at the moment. He has a qualifying ban from last week, and the car behind him is the guy that he ran into to obtain that. I guess he's probably doing some kind of like an outlap just so he's not booted from the lobby or something or other. I'm not sure. But his lap times, if he does set any, they won't count. He would be allowed to qualify or do pre-qualifying, but we don't even have more than 15 people, so we aren't even going to need one today. So Rodrigo Regalado will be the first to get the qualifying session underway as he crosses the start line. He is followed closely by another Mustang, and there's a third Mustang, fourth in line behind Luke Allen. So the Fords are eager to get on the track and get some on-throttle oversteer. Meet their oh crap quotas for the day. As Darius nearly understeers into the sand. We'll be seeing a fair bit of that today. Laguna Seca is just one of those tracks when it comes to that. Somebody was having a great time back there before the camera cut back to follow the 22 car through the kink and up the hill. Is that still called the Ray Hall Straight? Do we still call it that, or is it just the straightaway before the corkscrew now? Down the hill, I absolutely despise this turn. This corner isn't a whole lot better. And the final hairpin, what will Rodrigo manage to set the benchmark for this evening's qualifying event? He slowly creeps up to the line, the incredibly nerfed Group 4 BOP. 29.7 gets us started, a 31 flat immediately follows, and then a 31.1, and then a trip to the sand for Kyle Wales. That is not the lap I expected to see from Ridwan. Very interesting. I'm imagining that's just opening lap stuff, and those times will gradually increase. I mean, I imagine these three are about right. I can't imagine Ridwan is going to be sitting at a 31.67 by the end of this. I won't be surprised if he crosses a sector line shortly and he's like several seconds up. I thought he'd hit a sector line by now, I'm not gonna lie. I guess I didn't know where they were on this track, but like... Oh, well that lap isn't gonna count. I'm pretty sure that's track limits at the corkscrew. Yeah, he's up by a second. Really? The game is allowing that line. Interesting. Yeah, he's up by 9/10 as he heads to the final corner. Rigo Auto pushes the benchmark further, improves by 7 thousandths. Okay, never mind. I thought that was going to be some big deal. Eunice also ran a 29.8 while we were following his team owner. A 30 flat. That's a little more representative for Hamza. Let's see what the final FR racing car can do. He can stop on the way up to the hairpin. Is what he can do. Okay, we'll get back to him in a minute. Logan is just in a sandwich between Kyle Voiles and fellow Subaru driver Joel Grant, who will actually make the race, just by way of there only being 14 drivers in the race. Logan will back out of his lap, having been obstructed far too much by Kyle Voiles in his way at Andretti hairpin. Watch the last two corners for the 22 car, see if he can even further improve the lap, or if he's just going to find another 7 thousandths. To the line, that's going to be a 29.34. Yeah, that's going to be tough to crack. He definitely did say he was practicing, and it is... he has, in fact, practiced. That is the true pace of a World Series, or former World Series competitor. And that is the true pace of Ridwan, a 29.45, immediately putting that 34 under pressure. Preston Van Wee improves to a 31.7. That was not his pit lap game, don't you lie to me. Joel had a penalty to serve. Kyle Voiles continues to have zero control of his vehicle back there. Logan, yeah, he backed out of that lap, that's right. He just flings himself out of the way of Boryoshi at the last second, who ran a 30.28 on the last lap. So it is a 2-3-4 for the FR trio. But this lap is going to be duly blocked by Luke Allen, who has to take to the sand to attempt to get out of the way. Was that Spencer Hoffman that just appeared? I don't even know if he's signed up. I don't remember him signing up, but I may have just simply missed that. Almost 200 kilometers an hour. Almost on the way to, what is that, turn 4? Yeah, the fact that the high end of speed we're getting here is 120 says a lot, I think, about the current state of Group 4 BOP. These cars don't even feel like touring cars. They feel like Group 5, like GT5s. I'm up by a quarter of a second. That would put Boryoshi in the 29s if he can stick it. Final hairpin for the 41 car. He's going to kind of struggle on the way out of said hairpin because he's front-wheel drive, but it's very clear that FR Racing knows how to work around that, or they wouldn't have won so many races. Logan improves to a 33.1. Boryoshi improves to a 29.8. No, there's not a skill gap in ATCC. Wrong race. Interesting. It is recently signed NFR driver Spencer Hoffman for, at least for ARC NASCAR. Not here, though. Maybe I should ask him about it, since Logan Taylor is part-time, and I've only heard from Connor Brown once in his, 3 race weekends of being contracted to the team. Anyway, enough about my team. They're kinda irrelevant. There's only one of them in the race. Game, I know that, or actually no, that lap time probably was not. And Ridwan has traffic in the form of said NFR driver, as Boryoshi is off on a Sahara expedition on the way outside of the kink. We're going to be seeing a lot of that too, I reckon. Understeer is very, very bad. Also just realized this is an outlap for Ridwan. This is not a timed lap at all. Is anybody on an timed lap? Yes. Eunice up to the corkscrew. He is on one. We'll see what he can do. His goal is a 29.34. Or failing that, at least a 29.45. But he's nowhere near the pace he needs to get that. He's not even on pace to beat his previous best at the moment. Poor Yoshi's session is the first to come to an end. He does not improve at all. But Darius is in the pit lane. That was an outlap. That was a little confusing. So Preston did not get around in time. Luke Allen's session ends. Eunice Idkunen, yeah, he didn't find any improvement. Who was right behind him? Kyle Voiles. Logan Cool, we saw, did do, yeah, he improved to 32.698. And he did get around with 2 seconds left. So he gets another chance, but he then throws it into the sand for an impromptu beach episode. And that is his session over. Fellow Subaru driver Joel Grant will go past, as he also apparently got one more shot. And he must have absolutely beaten the buzzer. Ridwan also has another shot, as does AJ Ox, the colonist, who is in fact here. Needs to find a 10th and a half to jump over Kevin Kepley. And he will not find it. He only finds 36 hundredths. Rigolato finds another 10th in his lap time, and Ridwan is nowhere near that. So Rodrigo Rigolato is going to be the pole sitter, and by a relatively safe margin, 2 tenths over Ridwan in the one car. Is there anybody else still on a lap? I believe we are done. Yes, those are all the cooldowns. I think, yeah, the game's going to force us to wait the whole 3 minutes because of how many vehicles are still in the pit lane. Logan, me, AJ, Darius, etc. Evo's almost sound like they've got diesel engines the way they pull off that hairpin. I don't know that Mitsubishi has ever even put together a diesel engine for any reason. If they have, it's been for some kind of, like, dockyard or construction equipment or something like that, because, you know, like, heavier machinery, not a car. And that should be it. Yep, there we go. I'm not sure how this is going to work because the game obviously still has me on the grid, but I'm not supposed to be on the grid. I think they can fix that if they just return to practice. I think that's what they do anyway, right? And then if I just, you know, yeah. Oh, okay, I guess I'm just stuck here. So it's going to be a very interesting thing. I'm going to have to be very quick to get out of the car. Because it is going to put me in the car, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's going to put me ahead of AJ too. Whoops, that's my... Oh no, it isn't putting me ahead of him. Huh? It just said it did. I'm confusion. Get me out of here. There's a formation lap anyway. Right, yep, that's a thing. Not that I could have really interfered with the start if I was starting in last. If anything, that could have been an interesting perspective, basically being the medical car, following the grid down to T1, but I just don't think that that's how that's supposed to work, you know? So Rodrigo Regalado, that's like, it's a tongue twister, but it's kind of a fun one to say. Will be your pole sitter, followed by Ridwan Hamza, I still don't remember which. Yunus Edkunen, Boriyoshi, Darius in the Mustang, Preston Van Wee, Luke Allen, Pat Maher, Kevin Kepley, AJ Oxtaconis, Joel Grant, Logan Poole, Kyle Voiles, and AJ Kinnickle will serve his qualifying ban from Sardinia, starting in the back of the field, but I assure you he won't be there for very long. I wouldn't be surprised if he's back into the top 10 before the end of the first green flag lap. I can't help but notice that every single four-wheel drive car on the grid is starting in the back. Preston is the highest starting four-wheel drive car. The only other non-four-wheel drive car that's starting back here is Kyle Voiles. Everybody else in front of Preston is two-wheel drive. Rear, front, rear. Should I have fucking... Oh, whoops, excuse the language there. Should I have chosen, like, something else? I feel like I should have picked the BMW or something, huh? They're messing with each other there, I think. No, Ridwan, you cannot hit the pace car. We do not want you to be perfect. We want you to, honestly, maybe lose a race or two, make things more interesting in the point standings. And Regalado seems intent to enforce that desire as we get set for the green flag from Raceway, Laguna Seca, WeatherTech. We are green. Wrong order of words, but you get the picture. We are away for the 11th round of the ARC Touring Car Cup, and he is well clear. It's single file first and second. Yoshi's going to contest his teammate into T1. Itkunen will not stand for this. And he might clear. No, he won't clear. Luke Allen, despite having a penalty, will force it 3 wide. Don't do that, man. So Itkunen is going to end up conceding to Boriyoshi off the green. And Luke Allen with a bit of a hole shot that's going to end up getting, well, shot down the second he has to serve that D-cell penalty. How he got a half-second penalty before we even took the green, I don't know, honest to God. That is impressive in its own way. That sounded not good. Yep, Oxtacon is super out of shape. Hey, it's exactly what I said. AJ Kinnickle into the top 10. We haven't even hit the corkscrew yet, or he hasn't. He's going for 9th on his teammate, and he's going to run him completely off the track. Chalk it 2 weeks in a row. Chalk it up for another dumb AJ Kinnickle overtake. I shouldn't say dumb, but poorly executed AJ Kinnickle overtake. Regalado will rather easily lead the first lap. Never mind, he's going to get a big wiggle there, but he's actually going to still be clean. And actually have an advantage off corner exit. And Luke Allen demoted to 6th following his penalty. Fending it off from Preston Van Wee, who has a big bit of overspeed over him. And it looks like Luke will be able to hang on to it, having the preferred line through Andretti Hairpin. His teammate, Kevin Kepley, is there for tail support, nearly running into the back of the Genesis, in fact, and I think technically did make very slight contact. You wouldn't even notice. Logan Poole is in the top 10. I would just like to make this known. Fighting fellow Subaru. I feel like I've introduced him as that every single time. Get some new material, Riker. Joel Grant is right behind him. As Joel Grant is having big problems. He must have found the turtle or made contact with Logan Poole. Regardless, that's him demoted way into last place. Yeah, Oxtaconis with a stunner on lap 1. Kyle Voiles just not having the pace he needs to contend. And AJ and Pat having an incident through the corkscrew the previous time around is the reason that Logan is where he is at the moment. I should be looking at the leaders. I should be looking at the leaders. Boriyoshi is going to try and take his team owner around the outside. Ridwan makes extra sure to give him the space to try, but he's clear. Oh, he was trying to break the toe. That's what he was doing. He was clear before they even got out of the turn, I guess. Darius is not too far away, but Luke Allen has actually closed in on Darius, as Preston still has Kevin Kepley for company for 7th place. God, the difference in braking confidence between the 83 and 47 is just plain palpable there. I would be surprised if this takes too long to settle out between AJ and Logan. Logan goes defensive. He thinks this is worth hanging on to. I'm not surprised. He feels not so much allowed to battle for position. He feels like it's an obligation. On one hand, there's, you know, it's the hustle. It's like sliding into home plate in baseball. On the other hand, you just kind of have to know when to fold them, you know? And eventually AJ does get by the 83 car. Still sitting in 10th. I don't know if the Gran Turismo stewards will appreciate that line through the corkscrew. They will not. Corkscrew track limits are not really something that you really think about until you've exceeded them, you know? You're more concerned about making sure the car is under control, doesn't bottom out and whatnot as you're going through there. You don't really stop to think, am I taking it within the white lines? Until you realize that you have not done that, and the game slaps you on the wrist for it. Regal Auto is currently uncontested at the moment. About 2-second lead over Ridwan, who had to fend off his teammate a lap ago. Everyone has just gotten very evenly spread out in the top 7. Except for Itkunen is rather close to Yoshi, not really within striking distance just yet, but close enough to keep the American driver honest. To capitalize off of either a really good corner or two for the Finnish driver, or a mistake from his teammate. Bad call. That's not been an excellent... Actually, no, it has been... It just looked weird. Never mind. I thought Preston lost control through there, but he did not. Ben Wee is taking a bit extra sand, and that's going to lose him so much time. The only safe way to rejoin is to allow Kepley to pass. Yoshi has bought himself some breathing room, but only just 3/4 of a second between him and his teammate now. This field has spread out fast. Being about a second behind the guy doesn't seem like a huge gap. And in other motorsports, it's not. But touring car speeds, especially this game's interpretation of touring cars, where 121 miles an hour is considered high speed, yeah, that 9/10 can feel like an entire straightaway. In, say, oval racing like NASCAR, 9/10 can be made up in just a couple of laps by simply hitting your marks and then catching the draft of the car ahead. Here, draft is worth like 2.5 kilometers an hour. It is not helpful at all. And Edkinen is continuing to lose bits and pieces of time. Ridwan with the half second. Even that won't lose him the spot to Yoshi. Unless Yoshi puts together a really fast lap here. Ridwan sets the fastest lap in spite of his time penalty. So, that's probably actually exactly why he was able to set it, if he may have perhaps used a bit more of the racetrack than he was intended to. Logan Cool has allowed Pat Maher to pass. Seems things may have slightly spiraled after his half-second decel was served, because a half-second decel does not lose you 3.5 seconds to a car. Something else was definitely at play. I think he'll get away with that one. That was 2 tires on the curb still. He did not! That is not how it works. Got it. And he grabbed some sand for good measure, so this is going to be a 1-second decel. And that just might lose him the spot to the 41 behind. If nothing else, Yoshi will be able to fight him over it. Yep, there goes the pin. 0.8. 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2. It about evens out now, but Yoshi is there now after that pen. Yoshi is absolutely close enough if he gets a good run through the kink. Or a good run out of turn 4. I guess it depends. Is this little kink that Maher is going through count as turn 1? I don't feel like it does. FIA would probably call it turn 1, but this is not the FIA, this is AutoRacingConnected, in case you weren't aware. I'm gonna pause for station identification, or something like that, I don't know. Everyone has quickly escaped despite the time penalty, so I don't think Yoshi is gonna really have a chance on the way to the corkscrew. I don't think he's gonna have a chance just as a whole. In fact, he has fallen back into Edkonen's hands instead. So he's taken a lap where he needed to be the fastest man on the track, and it's only getting worse. He has now, following that mistake, lost 3rd place to his teammate. And yeah, Yoshi has managed to clutch defeat from the jaws of possible success. And I can just see in the body language as he hits the brakes there for the hairpin that he wants to make something up. But yeah, 32.3 on that lap. Yeah, that just shows just everything that went wrong there. AJ Knickel has closed in just about on Preston Van Wee, Alliance teammate, but not actual teammate. And yeah, it's just the curse of like roughly a second that's just plagued the whole field. Other than Regalado, who's got a 3.5 second lead, he is on cruise control at this point. And Yoshi, who is still right on the back of Itkunen after his error on the previous lap. I shouldn't say right on the back, but he's, you know, close-ish. Like I said, now he is the one keeping Itkunen on his heels. Although not the best hairpin for him, he's gonna lose like 3 whole tenths by the end of the straight. But Darius is just over 2 seconds clear of Luke, who is just under 2 seconds clear of Kevin Kepley, who's a 1.5 seconds clear of Preston, who's fighting AJ Knickel, who has now gotten there. And Preston has gotten a 0.5 second decel, probably after feeling the pressure of AJ being there and looking for his spot. He will get it through Andretti, regardless of that 0.5 second penalty. And Kepley getting some sand in his shoes there out of turn 2 is only going to make AJ's quest for 7th a little bit easier. Van Wee has a peak. He thought about it, but there was just no real reason to. And no way it could ever work, either. Great set of corners for Knickel, puts him within 7/10 of Kevin Kepley. And now he is basically on his rear wing. He's gonna sneak to the left there. That's some sort of magic trick, just the difference in cornering grip or something. Yeah, so now it continues. Regalado 3.5 clear, getting up to blue flag traffic up there in the form of Oxtaconis, who's had an absolute shocker. And he might be in the pause menu at the moment, based on the minute 45 lap times he's been doing. AI Oxtaconis gets directly in Regalado's way, actually. Lost him a whole second. Oh, he is gone. He is just out of here. Alright. Interesting. He must have had something come up. That's why he was paused for 3 laps. So that'll hurt Regalado a bit. Things well out of his control. A paused 14th place car loses him a whole second because they don't give way, and in fact blocked his way out of the kink. It is now 2.5 seconds between AJ Knickel and the driver that he utterly devastated at Sardinia. Considering he just ran a whole second faster on the previous lap than Luke Allen, it's entirely possible that he gets there in time to grab 6th place away from him before we end up at the end of the race. Remains to be seen if Knickel can handle this one with perhaps a little more efficiency and a little less destruction. I almost wonder if that incursion with Oxtaconis has left Regalado's rhythm thrown off or something. Or if Ridwan is just pushing, having saved tires and or fuel to really go for it here in the closing few laps of the first half of the week here. A bit of sand for the one car, but the game stewards do not seem to care. 29.5 versus a 30.0. Found a half a second there, did Ridwan. Also finding half a second. Never mind. Where did AJ's top speed go there? He has a signal on. Why did AJ just lose like 8/10 there? Why did Luke Allen kicks up some dust? I think AJ may have had a bit of equipment failure or something. I'm not sure. That was weird. The 18 car with blue flags in the air. Now there is his own teammate in the background. On the run from Ridwan, who's closed the lead to just over a second. Possibly less by the time Regalado negotiates Voiles. Voiles who proceeds to, that was, I don't know what to call that. Ridwan has no time to lose. He can't really afford to check up for Kyle Voiles just kind of existing there on the exit of the hairpin doing interstate speeds. Especially when you're trying to chase down the contracted driver of the guy that just caused issues. But he does, still have to pass cleanly, I guess it almost just depends on what Voiles intended to do there. Was he trying to kind of play Spanner a little bit? Was he trying to disrupt Ridwan's flow to give his teammate, some space, since he's closed the gap to just over 8 tenths now? Just under 8 tenths as we reach the kink. This is a weird looking corkscrew right here. Down the corkscrew for the penultimate time in the first race here. On the very edge of what the track limits will let you do. Oh, Yoshi made a big mistake. He must have just made it because he is 9 seconds down on this lap and within reach of Darius. Rodrigo moves over trying to break the toe. I don't really think it does a whole lot here anyway, with how short this straightaway is in the first place. Leaders 4.5 tenths apart as we hit Andretti hairpin for the last time in the sprint round. Sprint. I'm Scottish now, apparently. Max the Colonist leaves the lobby. Initially he had only retired the car, but now he is completely out. Lead stabilized at just around half a second between Ridwan and Rodrigo. My neck just cracked. That does not feel good at all. Breaking even on the way out. Slight advantage, Rodrigo. Ridwan needs to have the kink corner of his life. He's not going to have a real shot. 3 tenths between them. Ridwan does not get too desperate. He does have the hairpin at the final turn, but he needs 2 really good sweepers to even have a shot there either. That's the first one done well, down to under 2 tenths. It's got to be a massive send though, either a suicidal send or bumper to the back of him. He's going to try and sling around the outside last second, doing too much with too little. And Itkinen will actually get back ahead of him in the wake of that mistake. So Rodrigo Regalado, with some car placement and last-second maneuvers, will end up with the win. Itkinen steals second, Ridwan demoted to third, and Yoshi will hang on to fourth over the Mustang. Drag race to the line that Luke Allen will get his get back from Sardinia as he beats AJ Kaneko by 17 hundredths of a second. Van Wee with 9th place, Pat Maher 10th following the less than ideal lap 1 he had. Voiles will finish last. And it is a season high for Logan Cool, safe to say. 1 more hairpin, and that is 11th place for the NFR driver, with a very shredded right front tire. And here comes Joel Grant. A little more sand for the road to wrap up the sprint round here from WeatherTech Raceway. Oh boy. This time, I will try not to accidentally be on the grid. In fact, I'm going to actually hit the spectate button now, and while they're doing the grid randomization, I'm going to quickly try and sprint to my fridge to get some kind of drink to soothe my voice and lungs that are currently screaming in unbridled agony, so I shall return, hopefully, as quickly as I can. Throat soothed. Juice, grape flavored. Grid, being set. Hotel, Trivago, maybe? Race info displayed. Alright, I'm just making sure I'm not on the grid this time. Just make one last check. Oh, right, the standings. I forgot. I literally, like, saved the spreadsheet for that and then, like, just forgot to look. They're not super close at the moment, and AJ's qualifying ban resulting in him only getting 7th isn't helping the battle get any closer. Bridwan has a 39-point advantage over Kaneko. 20 back from Kaneko is Boryoshi. 26 more back from him is Stefan Robichaud, who is not here as he is currently attending the Canadian Grand Prix in real life. That was weird. Jonas Itkunen is 119 back from the points lead. I don't think he's really in it at this point. I don't even know if Yoshi is, and Stefan's not going to be after this week. I don't actually know the points format for ATCC, I'm not going to lie, so these are just kind of numbers to me. Let's look at the camera on somebody who's driving. We have arrived at sunset here, Laguna Seca. Okay, we have not. We have arrived at the changed room settings. I almost entered the track. Let me spectate. Stop projecting me. You were not my middle school crush. You do not get to do that. Okay, so now surely any minute here we will get the feature race underway. It is usually 2 resets before we have the grid set and the race ready to go, and everybody is readied up, so we should be ready to go, unless we're like waiting for like Ox to Colonist to return as Maher finds some understeer through the kink on what is effectively a time killer lap. There we go. Nice blue flags. Why does the game think he has blue flags? I'm sorry? Alright, that was interesting. So it is flipped around, or it is randomized Jonas Idkonen, then Rodrigo Regalado, then Ridwan, then Darius, then Yoshi, and then Luke Allen. I believe the top 6 are all that changes. If it is the top 8, then 6th, 7th, and 8th have just straight up not changed. Idkonen and Regalado have swapped places, and then Darius and Yoshi have swapped places. Now the field doubles up, and apparently it was Regalado first? Maybe it was an interval bug when we were waiting for the non-functional or non-relevant start countdown. So I guess it didn't even switch those two, it just switched Darius and Yoshi. Either way, rather, it must be Regalado that's on pole, so he will determine when we get things moving here. And here we go. The feature race, the third to last round of the ATCC, is a go. And Regalado is free from all obstacles. Idkonen is being contested by his team owner on the way into the Andretti hairpin. And Ridwan will escape with 2nd place. Yoshi will also force his teammate off the road a little as he makes his way to 3rd. So Idkonen just getting mugged by his own teammates through the first 2 corners. The interval is continuing to have a mental breakdown as Luke Allen has a bit of a run on the outside of Darius. AJ seemingly trying to push Darius along as there's a spinning Kyle Voiles in the far background. Darius will hang on to 5th place though, going around the outside at the corner prior to the kink. So now it'll be Luke versus AJ. Ooh boy! I think Luke got a piece of that curb and ushered AJ off the circuit, but AJ is pretty much within his right to just kind of take it and run. If it didn't slow him down any, he may as well, right? I really don't know why the game seems to believe that Idkonen is not only the leader, but is a lap ahead of everybody else on the track. And the interval is still not changing to reflect the fact that he isn't that. Allen and Maher with a half-second decels at the end of the first lap. Maher can serve his now, but Luke Allen can't because he got his in Sector 3, I guess. That'll lose him a spot to Preston Van Wee. It was a strong start for the 8 car, seeing as he had been in 10th at the start and ended up in as high as 8th. Okay, now that we've finished a lap, the game now understands the true nature of Itkunen's position on the racetrack. Wow, the top 3 are each 7.5 tenths apart from the next car. How do you do that? AJ Knickel's looking for more with the much more workable starting spot. That is certainly a way to approach the corkscrew Yoshi. He must have gotten some beach time in there on the way through the kink, and was only just barely able to get back onto the road safely before having to slow down for the corkscrew. Now Luke Allen will be told to decelerate, and he won't even lose a spot for it, I don't think. Speaking of spots, AJ is going to try and improve his. He's going to just get down the inside of Darius at the final hairpin, and that's simple as you want it. He's now just there within a quarter of a second off of Boryoshi as well. He cracks 200 kilometers an hour in his pursuit to catch the 41 machine. But not being able to run the line through the hairpin that he really would have wanted is going to lose him a boatload of time. A 7.64 is what Red One performs, bars, as he chases the 22 car right on down. The one car anywhere near the top 10 that he can't just completely overwhelm with acceleration and the top end abilities. You really would not have thought that I certainly wouldn't have thought when the season started that the Scirocco was going to be the straight line weapon of the grid. But the Mustang is the only thing able to really counteract that, so long as its driver can keep the thing pointed the right way. Which we've certainly seen plenty of its drivers not being able to do that this season. The Mustang has been a wiry little thing that even a former GT World Series driver has had difficulties maintaining control over. And despite AJ's ability to hit 200 kilometers an hour, it's not saving him, as Boryoshi is just simply able to go forwards doing 126 miles an hour on the way into Andretti, 2 mile an hour advantage over the Genesis of Knickel. So it's going to have to be a mistake if the 47 car wants to get any higher than where he is currently. That was a very aggressive turn 2 from Maher, and he almost paid the price for it. In fact, he will. Kevin Kepley's going to slide through. That is very difficult to even go too wide through there, let alone actually overtake through turn 3. Logan Cool has a decel penalty, but he was hounding the back of the 8 car. He was trying to get back into the top 10, but I'm guessing the corkscrew has politely told him no. Oh, AJ finds his own 126 miles an hour there, as he once again closes up right up to the back of that 41 car, but he's just not able to attempt anything of substance. Oh, I think there was actually a bit of rear bumper contact there with how close they had to have been going through turn 2 there. That's just touring car racing for you, though. Not really much you can say or do except just hang on for dear life and try to keep that loser behind you. Though I think even if AJ Kinnickle could find a pass on the 41 car, Yoshi's just going to have a chance to take it back on the way into turn 1 the next time they go into turn 1, or the corkscrew. The pressure is insane. AJ will simply stare into your vehicle's soul and cause you to get something like that half-second decel pen. And stick his nose down the inside while you're vulnerable and just absolutely make mincemeat out of you. Crossover attack from the 47 car. I don't really think there's much you can do about it now. Even if he is not even waiting for the half-second decel. AJ doesn't want to wait that long. We're burning evening light here. Yoshi thought about sending it in return, trying to force AJ to spend time fighting him despite not having a chance of taking it back. He's unable to get down the inside, though. AJ probably expected it, honestly. In the span of a lap or two, Logan went from right on Maher's tail to having Joel Grant directly upon him. And sliding the tail through turn 2 will not help. As Rodrigo continues to sit in a relatively comfortable lead, certainly more of a lead than he had earlier in the race. AJ is running an absolute steamer of a lap here. On for a personal best after having to overtake somebody on the way out of the hairpin at the end of the last one. Bringing the gap down tremendously between himself and Eunice. Now just down to about 8/10. It's going to be as they head over the line to start lap 8. Well, lap 7 really, since the first one was a formation lap, but you get what I mean. Cresting the halfway mark. Oh, Kepley has had a major problem. I'm not sure when that would have happened or where, but it's demoted him to P12, ahead only of Kyle Voiles, who at this point is secretly a GT5 car. There's not even a Group 5 in Gran Turismo 7, but if there was, it would be the 18 machine that is currently getting some sand in its wheels. Not an excellent turn there. AJ is going to lose a couple of tenths to his target up ahead. But he's still a safe distance away from Yoshi after his decel pen, so AJ can take a little bit of time to work things out and slowly inch his way up to Itkinen if he wants / needs to do so. Oh, the inside curve just rotated his Genesis for him. That is a huge exit. He's brought the gap down by another 2/10 collectively on that lap. 2.5, really. 46 versus 47. Late braking into Andretti will let AJ get a better exit. Logan Cool still has Joel Grant right there on his heels. He and Itkinen are darn near the only drivers on the track right now that have anybody on their heels, so to speak. These are two regular DNQers that are about to fight for the top 10 here. And depending on how long they fight for, Kevin Kepley may find himself further behind than he was before. Defending from Logan is Logan Cool, keeping Joel Grant away for just another corner. Defending into the kink of all places. That's like an AI maneuver, but it hasn't lost them any time to Joel, at least not significant time. Almost had contact, but AJ? What? AJ is nowhere near here, brain. Joel sends it. Oh, he got it. He didn't get it. He did not stick the corner. He tried to reinvent the wheel, and all he did was run himself over / run himself out of race course. It's gonna give Logan Cool breathing room. At long last, is what he's probably thinking. Itkinen, not so blessed. AJ Knickel, unlikely to commit himself to the same kind of move, other than the one time last week that he committed himself to such a move. I say that. The full truth is, he was thrown off slightly by Connor Panic twitching his steering. And both in avoidance and everything else, misses his braking point by about 60 meters, and the rest, as they say, is history. But it does not change the fact that there was massive contact made. It cost Luke many positions, it cost AJ a couple, and cost him 20 points retroactively. And yeah, just the fact remains, oh, that's a bit of sand, just, you know. Mistakes were made, simply put. I think Joel is completely out of rhythm now as well, after his error, his heroic send, followed by a villainously incompetent exit from the third to last turn. Speaking of out of rhythm, Ridwan is losing boatloads of time. He's 2.5 behind now, and he has a half-second decel, which is only going to lose him more time. I think this one we would call Rodrigo's race to lose. It's not going to lose him any places when he serves this penalty, but it is going to put him within range of Itkinen to set up a repeat, probably under different circumstances and different conditions being met. But nevertheless, possibly another chance for Itkinen to steal the position away from his team owner. Although an AJ with the decel pen means it may not be a 3-car fight, necessarily. Itkinen has just gotten an early birthday gift here, as both the cars around him are getting penalized. The gap down to less than a second between Itkinen and his team owner, and now up to 2.5 between himself and AJ Knickel. I had to hesitate there because my brain for some reason wanted to call him Canadian AJ. I mean, sure, that's not an incorrect identification of the driver, but that's not really right either. This one's, yeah, really just only one place to look. It's just Itkinen versus Hamza here. Hamza. Man, I don't know. Oh, and Ridwan has grabbed another half second, so guess what? That one is going to demote him behind his teammate. Although he has just had a really good third sector, so he might be safe here as he is forced to decelerate. He was not. Itkonen up to second, if only for a moment. We'll see what Red One does at Andretti. He will be able to do absolutely nothing. He is 3/10 back. Never mind! But 3 laps to go. Red One, still generally, I think, the faster driver. I think his 29.547 session best proves that he's got plenty of speed. So we'll see if he takes the fight back to Eunice to claim second for himself once more, or if he steps on his own shoelaces along the way and ends up somehow managing to end up giving AJ a podium over himself or his teammate. Or perhaps absolutely nothing will happen. That is also a distinct possibility. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that this race has been the most exciting ATCC round I've ever called. It's not to say that there's been absolutely nothing happening, but there could be more, and a lot of that is just down to Laguna Seca not being the best track out there for intense wheel-to-wheel, high-octane racing action, but, you know, there wasn't any other point to that. It was just me blaming the track, because that's the only real thing I can objectively point to as being like, yeah, this is why this is boring, because Laguna Seca is a very technical circuit. Technical circuits are harder to pass at, harder to battle at. 2 more times around, Red One's still very much on the back of his teammate, but not close enough to do anything. Looking around the rest of the running order, and there is absolutely nothing else going on. We've got Kepley kind of closing in on Joel Grant back here, as he just ran a personal sector best. A personal best sector, and then proceeds to almost throw the car off the track in celebration of this best sector, so we can cancel that right away. Yeah, that sector is the last thing Kevin needed. He was within a second, and then he made those errors. And now may not have a shot at him at all at the end of this. Oh my God. Kyle Wills has been lapped by 9 of his 12 opponents. I thought Logan Cool was paused. No, he just has his hazards on. Yeah, that's not an AI racing line, so that is still him driving. Okay, as I spoke, Joel Grant just lost like 6/10 to Kepley. We may still have a fight on for 11th place. We may also have a fight for 2nd place. Red One has gotten back to the bumper of his teammate, just a 1/4 second away. 2/10 is dive bomb range if you're crazy. And Red One may be Australian, but I don't really know if I'd use the word crazy automatically. AJ with the 1/2 second decel behind them. That's not going to mean too much. It's really just down to what Red One decides to do. If he can do anything up to the corkscrew here. He got a really good run through that kink though. He's going to have a shot. Eunice, does he decide to defend? He decides not to. He didn't have to either. Very important pair of corners here. Can Red One do what he couldn't against Regal Auto? Can he steal it this time at the hairpin? He is too far back. A desperate attempt, but to no avail. Rodrigo Regal Auto will sweep here at Laguna Seca. Ford, absolutely ecstatic. 2 home track wins. Volkswagen 2-3 as Itkonen holds off his teammate. AJ Knickel 4th. Boriyoshi 5th. Darius in the Mustang with a very quiet but efficient day. 6th place here. I believe 5th in the sprint round. Preston Van Wee also with a very quietly effective day. 7th for him here. Kepley had no chance against Joel Grant. I don't know if there was an attempt that we missed or if he just simply could not. Luke Allen 8th, Maher 9th. And with this hairpin, Logan Cool has a top 10 finish in ATCC. As his own team owner, I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. Screw that right front tire. Joel Grant 11th, matching what the other Subaru driver has done. And then immediately his AI attempts homicide against Kevin Kepley. That will wrap things up for today's racing action. Yeah, I would say Regal Auto has... he has definitely shown how he ended up in the GT World Series with the driving standards he has put on today. And that will wrap things up for me. Next week, the season finale takes us to the classic Tokyo Expressway South Loop. Basically, our own miniature crown jewel of ATCC, the only track we've run every season on Gran Turismo since we started doing ATCC on the Gran Turismo games. But before we sign off, and before I, send you guys back to the quiet room for the next week, shout-outs go to DiveBomb, our title sponsor that keeps a news wire for motorsports news of all disciplines. You find them on Instagram and everywhere, and many other places. I just know Instagram. I haven't checked everywhere else. And to the Racing Rats, who are our modding partners for our Soto Corsa leagues. They have free, high-quality mods that I'm just going to take AJ and the others' word for it because I don't have a PC. But I don't think we'd partner with a group like them if they weren't good at what they do. But yeah, ATCC finale at Tokyo Expressway this time next week. And I think the championship is in Ridwan's hands, but that doesn't mean we can't have 2 more barnstorming races to round out the ATCC season. Goodbye.